Zombies, I'm coming through. I'm coming through. I finally got something for you. I went out and I found an expert for you. Somebody that's been in the game 30, 40 plus years. Been doing this since 1980 with the salon, but 1978 is when all of this started. I'm just like, wait, what? When I say, if you are a hairstylist, if you are a trichologist, if you are a hair specialist, if you just at the house trying to figure out how to get your hair together, grow, if you're trying to figure out why your hair is thinning on the edges, in the middle, if you're trying to figure out a better way to get away from this 4C, 3B, I think I'm 3C-ish. If you're trying to figure out all of that and you're intrigued, you're in the right place. Because let me tell you something. We are speaking to Miss Pamela Ferrell today. She's been all around the world. I'm talking about she toured with the great, hussy, the Motown. What's her name? Wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Diana Ross. What's she saying? Am I going to get fired? Listen. I'm trying to think. Motown. Alexa. Stop in the name of love. Before you break my heart, think it over. She toured around with her. She's been all around the world. Listen, she is not only a renowned author, she's also noted as one of the only natural hair specialists that has fought politically, in hair discriminatory cases. I was like, wait, what? She is on the books, baby. Miss Ferrell used her hair system that she founded years ago called the Circle Hair System. I wasn't ready for the new system. I think it's amazing, and I would love to see in the comments what you think. And speaking of the comments, thank you for those of you who send me pictures. Your curly hair crisis journeys are going amazing with that organic fenugreek. If you need to talk to her, because she sent me her pictures and she was like, girl, them capsules got my hair growing. I was like, yes. This is my best girl too. She had to send me an update picture because she was like, they're not going to be ready for me this summer. They are really on their fenugreek game. But all that, we ain't here for that. Listen. This particular book is in the museum, the Natural History Museum in Washington, D.C. And Miss Ferrell, this is her book because of all her work, is there. She has several copies that she is willing to give to any curly hair crisis subbies. And she gave all of that information at the end. Now, without a further ado, I'm going to introduce to some of you and reintroduce, if you live in the DMV area and you've ever been to Cornrows & Co., this is Miss Pamela Ferrell.
Yes, hello. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. You are so beautiful.
Oh, thank you, and so are you. I was saying to myself, she has beautiful skin. That's my thing, honey. Skin, baby.
So I just want to thank you so much with all of the experience that you have. I do want you to just start in this wonderful place, because all of my subbies, we're all about our healthy hair, our journeys in growing. As you see us now and where we are, I would like to know, what are some of the things you really want us girls or us curly folks to know about natural hair?
Well, there's three things: hydrate, health, and hair skills. So, hydrate. The number one question that women ask is, why is my hair dry? And the first thing I ask is, how often do you shampoo? What I'm finding is women are not shampooing frequently. So let's assume, and especially if you're braiding your hair, if you're weaving and you're doing things like that. And my business, I did not do hairstyles that would last long, but that could not be shampooed, because I felt that I would be encouraging women to not shampoo their hair. And that is really critical. Let's say someone shampoos, I'm just going to say once a month, right? Yeah. Out of 365 days in the year, 12 days your hair gets hydrated. It gets water. So now,
come back to it. So I have been part of that group too, told with protective styles in braids. You know how you get your braids, box braids, or you're braided under the lace front. We were told it's great for hair growth with just washing it one time that month when you take it out and then putting it back in.
And I get it. Many years ago, hair was not washed frequently because we didn't have really good products. Our grandmothers and aunties and, mothers, they didn't have really great products. And so a lot of products were really stripping on the hair. And so what would happen is when they would shampoo it, and by the time they, you know, put some grease on it and they press it and straighten it, after about a month, you know, the hair starts to get its natural oils and it feels soft and it looks, you know, fuller and all of that. But they weren't shampooing frequently because they didn't have the products. But today, we have the products. We have products that don't strip our hair. We have products that keep it moisturized, conditioned. So if your hair gets water 12 to 6 times a year, then that's why it's dry. Now, on the other hand, if someone says to me, you know, why is my hair dry, and they shampoo every week, then I would ask, you know, what products are you using? We'd look at the product. And let's say, for example, they're using products that are really good. Then the next thing we would look at is their health. Because if you're low on iron, it'll make your hair dry. Low on vitamin D, it'll make your hair dry and it'll make it break. And it'll break really short down to the scalp, like 1/4 of an inch. So that's where health comes in.
Wait, vitamin D?
Vitamin D. We are sun people, and we live in an area where we can't get vitamin D from the sun year round. So that means you have to take it. You have to supplement it. Every woman that comes into my salon that I do my hair and health assessment, I ask what her most recent vitamin D levels are. And a lot of times women will say to me, it's good. And I say, well, what is that? Because a doctor will call you and say, oh, your levels are good. No, what's your number? So vitamin D has a range of 30 to 100. That's a pretty wide range. Many of the women that come to see me, they are very low. I've had women call me and say, my vitamin D level is 17. And then I'll ask, did your doctor prescribe you a prescription for vitamin D? And they will tell me no. I tell them, call your doctor now and tell them that you want a prescription. And some doctors are really hesitant about doing it. My daughter, when she was 9 years old, almost died from low vitamin D. Her health declined over a 6-month period. She got to a point where she couldn't walk. She was getting, cavities. Her teeth was decaying. Didn't make sense. This is a child who doesn't eat candy, cookies, soda, ice cream, none of these things. And we went to Johns Hopkins, all kinds of hospitals. It turned out what happened was I asked for a sonogram. We went in, they found fluid around her heart. And they said, you need to get her to the hospital immediately. So, when they admit you in the hospital, they take your blood.
Yes.
And that's when they discovered that she had low vitamin D. They said to me, it's dangerously low. And I said, what's the number? They said, there is no number. So like low vitamin D will cause a heart attack. Not only will it make your hair break off, but it can cause a heart attack, diabetes, cancer, all of the health problems that are prevalent with African Americans because we need it. So that's my speech on vitamin D. I mean, I am like a vitamin D advocate because I know that it saves lives in our community and our hair when it's low.
Thank you. Thank you for that nuggets. We got it. Vitamin D. And I'm glad your daughter is well now. I didn't realize. And you had another H for us to remember.
Okay. Hair skills. Today folk are just kind of winging it. They're trying to just figure out how to do their own hair.
Pretty much.
So when I talk about hair skills, there's just some basic things that really matter that we should know. So for example, shampooing. When you shampoo your hair, you don't want to use too much shampoo. Okay. A lot of times when folks shampoo their hair, they want that first shampoo to just lather. They want to see just this white halo lather, right?
Guilty, yes.
Shampoo shouldn't really lather because what it's doing is it's breaking down the oil off of the hair. If you use too much shampoo, it'll make the hair dry. And why is that? Because a lot of times people aren't rinsing it all off. the more shampoo you use, the more you got to rinse it off. So if you don't have really hot, strong water pressure in your shower, you're not going to get all that out.
Wow.
All right. So the other thing is when you are shampooing your hair, you are not going to massage in circles. Okay. We're not scrubbing and cleaning a piece of fabric. Fingers thread through to the scalp, massage, clean the scalp first, and then you work that lather, you stretch and work it down to the ends. You do not want to do circle motions. That will tangle the hair, especially if you have color on it or, if the hair is weak and fragile. So the other thing with hair skills is knowing your hair. So for example, someone may look at my hair and they see this texture, right?
It's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
I don't have wash and wear hair. This ain't hair that you just get in the shower, you run something through it, shake it, and it's going to look like this. No. So a lot of times we see something and we think, oh, wow, her hair just naturally. No, this is a twist out. I put 3 big flat twists in the front.
What?
And so how do we know our hair? Hair comes in a shape. It's either circle or line. And I learned line from a child in kindergarten because I called the shape circle and straight. And she said, I don't know if she told me straight wasn't a shape.
Oh.
But she said line hair, right? And I said, actually, you are right. So circle and line, right? So line hair would be someone, for example, from Japan or in Asia, where their hair is straight. You don't see any wave. You don't see any bends. Okay, so that would be line hair.
Yes.
Circle hair is shaped like a circle. The way I discovered circle hair, one day I was combing out one of my clients' hair after washing it. And when I looked on the floor, there were perfect, you know how there's hair all on the floor? There were perfect circles. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. I had been looking at hair for 30 years and I had never seen that. And when I looked at it, I said, why don't we call our hair what it is?
Ooh, I can't wait to talk about that. Please introduce us to the circle hair system.
So when I talk about the circle hair system, even when I recognized those circles on the floor and I said, okay, we can change the language of how we talk about the hair, because I have people that call me from all over. And when you're calling me and you're trying to describe your hair, so people will say to me, I have 4C hair.
Yes.
And I say to them, what does that mean? If I ask 10 people, what does that mean? I'm going to get 10 different answers. And often when I ask, they don't have an answer because people are just repeating something that's put out there.
Yes.
We don't want to cause confusion with our hair. There's already been a lot of confusion out there. Let's get real with this, right? The other thing for me was that this hair typing system, 4C, it starts with 1 through 4.
Yes.
Why number 4? That's my question. Why are we number 4? I don't know the answer why we're number 4, but I do know this. Number 1 is straight hair.
Yes.
Number 2 is wavy hair.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So as it goes down, and then when you get to 4, you got a 4A, a 4B, a 4C.
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about facts. The fact is, with circle hair, the smallest circle, I collected from a young boy from South Africa. He's a member of the San people, SAN. And they have the oldest DNA still found in modern humans. Let me go back a little bit and then we'll come to that. But I wanted to go through the 4C because what I wanted to point out was it is not fact. It is upside down.
Wait a minute.
It's upside down. Now, let me bring you to circle hair. So I have been collecting hair from people from around the world, right? And what I realized was there were different circle sizes. So I said, okay, how can I make this so that we can talk about this in a way that makes sense? So I had to come up with a way to measure these circles, right? I was going to actually try to figure out how to measure this. I mean, that's like some heavy duty science stuff. And I was like, right. So what I did was I used a measurement system that's already in place. It's called the point unit system. They use it for fonts, right? And then I use the letter O. Actually, I'm coming out with a book, so it'll have all this so that people will be able to. If you were typing a letter and you use 8 point, that is really tiny. That's like on the back of a ingredients on the back of a package, right?
Yes.
And just to kind of put it in perspective, that 8 point is the size of a pinhead. The 150 is the size of a quarter. And as I collected hair, I measured it and I found it, interestingly, it wasn't an 8, a 9, a 10, 11, 12. Nope. There was an 8. I've only collected 110 of the people that have come into the salon. Only at one size 10, a little girl. Most of the sizes are 12 and 14 for African Americans, right? In this region. And you know what? Who else has 12 and 14? West African people from Senegal, Gambia.
Really?
Now think about it. Think about where we come from.
The coast, Nigeria, the Middle Passage.
Yes. Let me show you this here. This is
my gosh.
This I keep in the salon, so that people can. So this is an 8 point over here. That's the original hair, honey. So here's the difference.
Yeah.
The circle size determines the characteristics of your hair. So it determines when it gets wet, whether it is going to stand up or hang down. The smaller the circle, the more the hair shrinks. Also, your circle size changes as your hair ages.
So do we all normally have more than one circle size?
It's more common than not. Yes. And usually the hair on the top might be a bigger circle or a little looser. But when you start getting into, and I'm going to call this the original hair. When you start getting into the original hair, 8, 10 point, you usually have the consistent textures.
Wow.
See, those variations are what we call morphology. So now we're going to go into anthropology. We ain't going to go too deep into it. African Americans, we are mixed. Okay, all of us, for the most part. For the most part.
Yeah.
Okay. And so in being mixed, we have larger circle sizes, and our hair has just kind of morphed from the original size, which is the small circle. And I say this is important. People will say it. They'll see my hair and they'll go, "No, but you have good hair." Now, psychologically, in my head, the first thing you want to say is no, but yes, I have good hair and you have good hair too.
Yes.
Okay. Let's not say that I have good hair because you think you have bad hair. We really got to get out of that.
Now that we know a different way to think, and we're going to transition from our A's and our 4s, because I do have a little problem with trying to figure out what 3 I am, whether a 3B, 3C, or whatever. How are we going to?
Don't put that stuff in your head.
How are we going to figure it out?
So let me give you an example. After you shampoo your hair, there's going to be some hair that will, kind of shed. We shed 80 to 100 strands of hair a day. That's just normal. Okay. And so when that hair sheds, you look for that circle and you take a piece of tape and tape it. So what I've done to simplify this, I have like a range. So 8 point up to a 14 is what I call small. And then we have 28. So as I told you, it doesn't go through all the numbers. So 28 point up to, I believe it's 48 point is medium. So I'm medium and you're probably medium.
Okay.
And then 72 to 150 is large.
Ooh,
So, I mean, you can start there where you can say I'm small circle.
nice.
Yeah.
That's very simple than all this extra stuff we got going on with these subcategories and this. It's just small, medium, and large.
And large.
That's how simple it can be.
Yeah. That's how we can describe it. That's a simpler way. And then if people want to know the actual size, let's say, for example, and the actual size wouldn't matter. Let's say someone was calling me and they said I'm medium, right? So a medium can range from a 28 to a 48. Think about that font. Think about that.
Oh, yes. Okay.
48. They're distinctly different. And so that would matter if someone was calling me and saying, what gel should I use? Or what kind of effect will the gel have?
Yeah.
Okay. But just to keep it simple for the sake of what with our conversation today, small, medium, large. So if you're talking to someone, if she has 14 point and you're 48, I'm just using that number, and she's saying, well, my hair, when I twist it, and then after a few days, it just kind of, creeps up and gets really short.
Yes.
Right. Why doesn't your hair do that? That may be the conversation. Mm-hmm. Because it's size. That's it. The other things that the circle size determines is your moisture effect. So what I mean by that is your hair is out now, right? A couple of days ago when it was raining or when it was moist outside, your hair was going to expand, right?
Huge. I had no peripheral vision.
Somebody else's may shrink small. A smaller circle is going to shrink small. And then someone with a large circle hair, that moisture makes, in some cases, the moisture gives a nice body if they don't have any oils on it, right?
Yes.
Or otherwise, it'll make it limp. I use the circle hair system. I use it for many things, but one being for hair discrimination cases. And what I talk about is it's not good to create grooming policies for one hair shape. If you create a grooming policy for line hair, then that makes someone with circle hair have to change their hair.
Yes, but I am very excited that you said that, because I think a lot of my subbies might not know all of the work that you've done in the political arena. Back in 1980, when we opened our business, we opened it, and our mission was to redefine standards of beauty and teach women how to take care of their natural hair and that of their child. And it still applies today. Ooh, but that's all right. Listen, I appreciate what you're saying. You are educating us. I told y'all this is going to be good, to come closer and get your pen and paper, because I haven't heard a lot of this information. And what you don't know, what Ms. Ferrell alluded to, she is a healthy hair specialist. And thank God she is. You have products, you help people. And I want you to tell us all about that, because I know people that ask me questions all the time. They have alopecia, they have just issues. Just what service you offer and what products you have.
Okay, so the Grow Hair Project, I started because I keep really detailed records of people when they come to me. And so when I was going through my records, I noticed a pattern of certain patterns of hair loss consistent with certain health problems. With the Grow Hair Project, I teach women how to use their hair to monitor their health. And, but we know when our hair doesn't feel right, we know when it's starting to thin. When you have hair loss and hair problems, it's a symptom of something that's happening systemically. So the top crown of the head, that is your heart, your blood cardiovascular system. So we will typically see this with women who have that have hypertension, high blood pressure. There's a lot of women walking around that have high blood pressure, but they don't know it. Because if you have what we call a transient hypertension, it doesn't show up all the time. So you may go to your doctor for your annual checkup, and your blood pressure may not be high. Transient means it comes and goes. And what would cause a transient hypertension is a mineral imbalance. Like if your sodium, potassium is out of balance. And so anyway, if we know this, then, we're not guessing, like, what's going on with the top of my head. The front hairline, this is your sex glands, your kidney, and your bladder. So generally, women that have fibroids, or even women that have given birth, you're going to see the hair thinning in that front hairline.
I did not know that.
Yes. And generally, people that have fibroids, if they're having heavy cycles, they're anemic. And that's going to make that hairline, the hair loss is going to kind of creep. It's going to creep back.
That's an iron. Oh my gosh, all these mineral deficiencies.
The size of the head, I don't see it often. This is the lungs. But when I do see it, it's usually autoimmune. So lupus, things like that will show up. This very back crown, that's your digestive system. And as we age, so we have what's called HCl, hydrochloric acid. It is a digestive enzyme that breaks down proteins. And as you age, you don't have as much as when you were younger. And so if you're not supplementing and taking it, your digestive system is really not doing an efficient job of breaking that food down and extracting the minerals into the blood that's delivered to every cell in your body. So let me talk about a hair strand. Each strand of hair has a blood vessel connected to it. Each strand on your head. All right? And so anything that impacts the blood, hypertension, your gut, anything, fibroids, it's going to affect the hair. And the body knows you can live without hair. So if you don't have enough nutrients to really sustain your hair and your vital organs, it's going to say, I'm going to go take care of the vital organs. I'm going to go take care of the heart and the liver and the kidneys. I'll be back. I'll be back. I get enough, I'll be back. But if it never gets enough, that hair doesn't get nourished.
Wow. Okay, but you have to tell us that you started years ago with Cornrows and Co., the salon itself, and you have products that you saw a void. We needed things for our hair and, my subbies, because my products are what work for me, diet, health, the things that I take. I told them about the herb fenugreek, but it's not for management. I wouldn't want you to slather all this oil on your hair to scalp. So I think you have products for hair management that we are interested in.
Okay, so people think oil hydrates.
Yes.
Because, people say my hair is dry. And I tell folk, if you were thirsty, you wouldn't drink oil. I have a conditioner, my lavender conditioner, and it's formulated with water and oils. And so, yes, that is going to moisturize and that is going to lubricate. My products they're handcrafted. I make them in small batches. They're natural. My hair conditioner, you can use as a moisturizer on your face. You can use it as a cleanser on your face. You can use it as a shave cream to shave under your arms or your legs.
That's what I'm talking about. Now that's natural. And y'all put this in the description so you can see for yourselves. I know a lot of us, we look for natural now. We're over all of these chemicals. We just want to get back to the basic. Where do we find you? How do we connect with you? Where's your site? Give us all that information.
My website is growhairproject.com. And the other is cornrowsandco.com. And I'm on Instagram, Pamela _hair fixer.
All right.
Products are online, and also the consultations that I do, that information is online. So this is what I want to offer to your people. So what I want to do is I call it my museum copy, Where Beauty Touches Me.
Yeah.
If anyone is interested in that book, I will send them a free copy. They just have to pay for shipping.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send them a free copy. So what they can do is they can go to my website and just put in their email and put free copy.
Thank you so much. With everyone listening on all these platforms, if you could just leave us with anything that you want people to know, to reflect upon, just give us some of your final words.
You know, I work with women that have hair loss, and they would be more than happy to have the head of hair that you have, whether it's long, short, small circle, medium, large circle. They would be so happy. So love your hair, take care of it. And the way you take care of it is you take care of your health.
Thank you so much. You guys love your hair and you're going to be healthy. Thank you so